This is the story of the man behind the most remarkable discovery. One of the greatest minds the world of physics had seen for years.
We were used to joke that this guy's either going to Stockholm or he's going to jail.
It seemed that Hendrik Schön had been so far ahead of his rivals for a very simple reason.
Hello everyone, our name is Gulawanhen Chunha and Nachaya Palakachen. Today we will talk about Schön scandal, that is the scientific misconduct incident. Firstly, I would like to show you about the background of Schön. His full name is Dan Hendrik Schön. He has obtained PhD from the University of Constance in 1997. Next, in 1998, he was hired by Bell Lab in Murray Hill. He was a rising star in the field of nanotechnology and renowned for creating field effect transistors. In 2000, he had 5 papers in Science and 3 in Nature. In 2001, he had done a lot of research, so he got the Otto Klum-Weber-Bank Prize for Physics and Branch-wide Prize. Research groups were unable to reproduce his results, so the researcher wanted to know, was the technique existingly difficult to master or was something else amiss? In 2002, he got the Outstanding Young Investigator Award of Materials Research Society. But many scientists were unable to reproduce Schön results. So physicists from inside and outside Bell Lab called management attention to several sets of figures published in different papers that bore suspiciously strong similarity to one another. In later May 2002, the management of Bell Labs formed a committee to investigate the possibility of scientific misconduct, the validity of the data, and whether or not proper scientific methodology was used in paper by Hendrik Schön et al. that are being challenged in the scientific community. The first task of the committee was to establish the specific allegations. By the time this initial process was ended on June 20, 2002, allegations had been made about 25 papers involving 20 co-authors. Of these allegations, the committee selects 24 final allegations for detailed examination. They can be grouped into 3 classes, including substitution of data, unrealistic precision of data, and results that contradict known physics. Substitution of data is substitution of whole figure curves and particle curves in different or same paper to represent different materials, device, or conditions. And second, unrealistic precision of data is precision beyond that expected in a real experiment or requiring unreasonable statistical probability. We have 2 misconduct examples. The first example is substitution of data. Very similar data in 2 different figures, including detail noise, appear in the same paper, represents as 2 different molecules. The vertical scale differs by a factor of 2 at minus 0.2, minus 0.4, and minus 0.6 voltage. These curves are present in only one figure. The type of this misconduct is falsification.
Next is an example of unrealistic precisions of data. Figure A shows variations of the resistance versus temperature as the gate voltage is varied, and this figure is the original figure in Schön's article. For figure B, it shows the first derivative of original plotting data from figure A, and figure C is the second derivation. Normally, taking a derivative increases derivative noise, but this data remains highly linear over most of the range, as you can see in the figure B and C. The second derivative of this curve is constant to more than 8 significant digits, except in some range, and even the derivations are reproduced with high precision. In addition, Schön had acknowledged intentionally fabricating data for these figures. He stated in the interview that he thought that a smoother curve would look much better. In some cases, there is less doubt if there is not that much noise on the curves. Conclusions of the investigation. They found evidence of Chern's scientific misconduct in at least 16 of allegations from 24. They found only 16 because Chern had deleted his primary data. He told that his computer was short of memory, and the report found that all of the misdeeds had been performed by Chern alone. All curators were completely exonerated of scientific misconduct. Next, consequence. Sanctions of Schön. First of all, Bell Labs fired Schön on the day that they received the report. This was the first no case of fraud in the lab history, and more than 20 articles written by Schön were withdrawn. In October 2004, the DFT Joint Committee announced sanctions against him. During an 8-year period, Schön was unable to serve as a peer reviewer or apply for DFT funds. Finally, his awards that he received in 2001 and 2002 were revoked, and also his PhD too. For his PhD, it was revoked by the University of Consent due to dishonorable conduct, and called it the biggest fraud in physics in the last 50 years. For wider impacts, firstly, to raise numerous money and time of others. Scientists around the world had spent tens of millions of dollars trying to reproduce Schön's key results, and around 100 laboratory groups was working on Schön's results at that time. Moreover, for graduate students basing their PhD research on Schön's experiment, their education was at stake, and also postdoctoral will worry about their prospects for future employment. Secondly, this scandal had raised questions about peer review, curator responsibility, and career progressions in science. Whether peer review should be required to detect deliberate fraud, how much is the responsibility, degree of curators, should curators be not sanctioned in this case?
No one can stop him, but we could fix or prevent it. The co-author must exercise appropriate professional responsibility in ensuring the validity of data and physical claims in the paper in questions. The senior author should review all data contained in the paper and keep all data that was used to prepare the manuscript. Finally, the peer review system is designed to weed out substance work and to improve promising submissions and make them publishable. It's supposed to keep things honest. This is the reference of this presentation. Thank you for your attention.